It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass on Fox 47. As they say in describing the NASA helicopter on Mars or Michigan State's spring football scrimmage, we have a touchdown. And here to talk about that and much, much more, I want to introduce Team 395, Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions. He is, of course, Michigan State's first director of player engagement and yesterday part of the BTN coverage of Michigan State's spring game. Darian, did you have a lot of fun out there?
Yeah, I had a great time out there. Truly did. It's always a pleasure to work with Lisa Byington, Coach Jerry DiNardo, and Big Ten Network. And the fact that they asked me to step into the broadcast was definitely something I couldn't turn down. But I had an awesome time out there. It was great to see Coach D. Obviously I saw him at the golf outing, and then I saw Coach Izzo at the golf outing as well. But it was great to have them out there. Plexico Burris, of course, and the rest of the former Spartans out there, and to see everything from a different side. So seeing it from the player side, seeing it from, of course, now the coaching side, and then seeing it from the broadcast side. I've seen it from the color commentator side, but have actually never done sideline reporting. So still learning, still developing, still trying out new things every chance I get.
We did a great job with Lisa and Jerry. We're going to have DiNardo on with us tomorrow on The Drive with Jack. Looking forward to that. And you had a chance to talk with a lot of players, past and present, after the game.
Yeah, it was a really great turnout. Jack Allen, Tony Lippett, Jeremy Langford, Kari Willis, Lawrence Thomas, Raekwon Williams, Darian Hicks, just to name a few of the guys that were in attendance, Brian Allen as well. A lot of guys came, obviously at the golf outing on Friday. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 100+ players there. But it was really great to see everyone, see the guys I played with, see what they're up to now, and the fact that they're still supporting their alma mater. That's what really we're all about with Michigan State.
Also want to welcome Tom Crawford, Blue Belly Tom, my broadcast partner for more than 19 years. He's a diehard Wolverines fan for nearly 60 years now. And, of course, he is a creator of the Crawford Podcasting Network. Tom, are you okay now that we're done with spring football? Are you going to be in withdrawal until we start fall camp?
Yeah. I'm just glad the NFL draft is upcoming because I'm tired of seeing, 24 hours straight of from ESPN of the draft coverage. I imagine they'll just start rotating that in for 2022, maybe a week from now after they run it down. No, I'm all excited. Any kind of football, though.
We will be right back, and we're going to talk about the spring game, our Going Green segment, up next.
Congratulations, Hazlitt class of 2021. We want to see your smiles. Send us your pictures into fox47news.com/senior spotlight. Go Vikings.
Everybody's looking for
Bobby and Athena, they have separately been through some of the worst tragedies.
Athena, I met someone.
Some really, really hard times.
Ooh, for me, it's always been more simple.
They are grown people who found each other.
You go somewhere with me.
My future looks like you.
There's a bit of hope, that love can still exist.
I don't want to take the next step. I want to take every step with you for the rest of our lives. Marry me, Athena.
Bobby, yes!
Yes?
Separate worlds can come together and make a brand new one. This is how we save ourselves. By saving each other. Because nobody, not anybody, has ever been saved alone.
Ooh, let's just keep it simple.
All new Prodigal Son, Tuesday at 9 on Fox.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 107 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf.
You know, but it was equal for everybody, right? I mean, they weren't visiting any campuses.
How about that grab? Ian Stewart going up and climbing the ladder and catching that one. He has actually a 0 catch in his career. I know he would wish that one would count, or Big Ten standout, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Then call him a big player. He moved over to tight end last year, then moved back to wide receiver. And the big kid, as they call him, was big on this play.
That is well done. Well done and well timed.
Darian Harris, very few people were talking about Ian Stewart when he committed to Michigan State, or last season when he did not catch a pass in very limited duty. But those who were in Spartan Stadium or watching on BTN saw him make a couple of big plays yesterday. Now everyone is talking about him. What does that say about the way players improve if we give them a chance, and about fans' need for shiny new toys?
Well, for the fans, it's always exciting in spring when you see players that you maybe had not heard of before, were flying under the radar, make plays in the spring game. That's the beauty of the spring game, of spring football. And it was the beauty of having fans back in Spartan Stadium. Speaking specifically about Ian, he's a kid that's come in and worked extremely hard, got opportunity to play last year primarily on special teams, which is always a good sign as a true freshman. That means we trust you out there on the field. And he's somebody that continues to get better under the tutelage of Coach Courtney Hawkins. So, the biggest thing for him will be, how do you build on this spring? He had a really good spring. He obviously showed in the spring game. Now, as you said, everybody's talking about him. Who's this Ian Stewart kid? He's a guy that's going to crack into the rotation. And that's something I'm going to be talking to him a lot about this summer, is how do you build on what you accomplished this spring? How do you build on maybe the fanfare that by classification as a freshman, you maybe haven't experienced before? He hasn't had a lot of people talking about him like that. As you said, in recruiting, he also flew under the radar. So this is the first time where he's seen a lot of people talking about him and saying his name. How do you build on that going into the fall would be the question.
Tom Crawford, the number one question for fans has been Anthony Russo or Peyton Thorne? Peyton Thorne or Anthony Russo? All spring long. From what you saw yesterday, which player would you pick for your least favorite team as a starting quarterback? And who do you think Mel Tucker will name?
Well, it goes beyond what I saw. I just think the fact, Peyton Thorne, this is a third-year guy. I go back to the Penn State game last year. Jack, he threw for 325, 3 touchdowns, a little slow start in that game, but looked pretty good. Anthony Russo is just coming in January, from another program that's had a lot of different offensive coordinators, multiple kind of setups like that. So, but he can adjust, he can learn. I'm gonna go with Thorne, just because of what I've seen and the experience. Going into camp, though, there won't be a decision by Coach Tucker, I don't think, until maybe that second scrimmage, and you'll hear that announcement, perhaps.
Darian, we saw Mel Tucker bring jersey number 1 out of mothballs for the first time since 2002. And how long ago was that? That's when Tom Crawford and I started doing radio shows together, the sports page with Jack and Tom. And when you think about Jaden Reed and how he looks in number 1, looks like he could have been wearing it all his life. Do you think he is worthy of being in the same category with an Andre Rison or a Muhsin Muhammad? or a Charles Rogers, guys who wore that number with great pride?
Well, I think the key for Jaden is just to be Jaden Reed at the end of the day. You know, it was a John L. Smith and then next a coach, Mark D'Antonio, philosophy that nobody wears number one. So I've had a lot of conversations with whether it's former players or people that are wondering, hey, was the number retired because of those great receivers and brought back out or what? You know, the bottom line is the previous coaches had a philosophy that nobody wears number one. Even if they had a Charles Rogers and Andre Rison, they said nobody wears number one. So that's not Mel Tugger's philosophy. And I think Jaden Reed is an excellent player and definitely worthy of wearing the number. He doesn't have to be the guys that came before him. Yeah. I mean, Charles Rogers is universally recognized maybe as the best to ever wear green and white. He just has to be Jaden Reed.
Yeah. Darian, as you know, better than just about anyone, football games are won a lot of ways on a lot of days. And as we take a look at Jaden Reed and at Jalen Naylor and their body transformations, there you see Jaden, what he looks like, and the additional muscle mass he has gained. And I think you're going to see the same thing in just a second from Jalen Naylor. What is happening off the field to get Michigan State back to its glory of your last 3 seasons?
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. You got to give a tremendous amount of credit to Coach Novak, Jason Novak, and the strength and conditioning staff. And then the addition of Amber Einstein, our nutritionist, it's been a godsend, to be honest. I mean, she is unbelievable in what she's able to do. And then the players have to buy in. So there's an example of 2 of our players, 2 of our leaders on our football team that have bought into what we do, and you see the results.
We're going to be back, and we'll talk more about yesterday's spring game coming up.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
I'm Tiana Jenkins. Find out what's happening in your neighborhood.
Thank you for calling the Assistance Center. How can I help you?
Hi, I just got my most recent energy bill, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pay it. It's been a really challenging year, and I was just wondering if there's any help available.
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to take a look at your bill and find options for you.
Stars Casino by Poker Stars.
I won $54,000 in Stars Casino.
Stars Casino, now live in Michigan.
It's literally like being in a casino in your own living room.
There are hundreds of slots online, and with one tap, you can play poker and bet sports.
Poker Stars is a trusted name, so I saw Poker Stars, I figured that's a site I got to be part of.
Sign up today at starscasino.com to claim your free $50 bonus.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs.
Hey, Darren, with the lack of depth at linebacker, was there any conversations about you playing today?
I told Coach Ellis, maybe I got a series for you, maybe 2, but that's about it, man. My knees can't do it anymore. I ain't got it anymore.
You have two good series in you. two-play series. Hey,
Lots of new linebackers and defensive backs still coming in for Michigan State before the first game at Northwestern. And Darian, you didn't have to run sprints at the end of the scrimmage, but what would your 40 time be right now? We know that you were a fast linebacker and could have been a running back at Michigan State, but what would your time be right now? And how long does it take most of the players? We saw 108 of them Friday out at Brookshire to lose whatever speed they had.
I'll probably still give myself a 4.5, 4.6 range, maybe if I was able to train for it. And, speed is something that it just depends on the person. Sometimes it goes with wear and tear. Sometimes you can hang on to it for a while. So, somebody like Alan Haller, I think he still probably got a 4.4 in him somewhere. Other guys, maybe they lost it. Just kind of depends on the person.
Tom Crawford, we both know that they all count one is as big a lie as there is in sports cliches. Wins over Western Kentucky and Western Michigan are not the same as wins over your rival. But we want to take a look at the last 20 Michigan State scores. And ironically, both teams won 10 of these games. What does that tell us?
Well, it's obviously pretty even for the decade, but when you look at those schedules and know where those games are played, Michigan State likes to play in Ann Arbor. I do know that. They're very comfortable there, especially when there's no fans like last year. And Michigan has won a few, last couple games since those nightmares in 13 and 14. They got on track there winning at Spartan Stadium. So my takeaway is the home field advantage is not an advantage at all to me in this rivalry.
Tom Izzo likes to say that it isn't a rivalry until both teams can beat the other, and that's what we have now in basketball with Michigan and Michigan State. Not quite so much with Michigan and Ohio State in football, with Michigan winning twice since 2001. But when you think about, Darian, the season a year ago for both of these teams, and we look at the schedule and the outcomes for these teams, if you take away Michigan State's win in Ann Arbor, these teams were a combined 3-8 the rest of the way. Can you give us a shining moment for each team and a game they'd like to forget?
Well, you got to look at Northwestern last year for Michigan State. It was a big win at home over a top 10 opponent. And a team that obviously was very good and competed very hard against Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. So definitely got to look at that game as a big win. And then I think for the other side, you got to look at their win over Rutgers. Rutgers is making a push. Obviously won in East Lansing game 1 last year. So Rutgers is a team you can't take loosely either. So I would look at those two, obviously because they're wins, but more so the storyline as well.
Tom, I want to take a look at both teams' schedules this year. And I believe you said a couple weeks ago that you could see Michigan being somewhere around 7-5. And I'm predicting 6-6.
Yeah, 7-5 with good quarterback play.
Yeah. I'm saying Michigan State can get to 6-6. But if those numbers happen, how could a 5-win improvement for Jim Harbaugh get him in trouble, maybe get him fired, and 4 more wins make Spartan fans so optimistic about Mel Tucker's program?
I think Michigan State fans are bullish on Mel Tucker. I think they will be, because I think that the culture has definitely switched. And for Harbaugh, when he went 2 games, Ward Manuel's there. He has nothing to worry about. He will be secure. There's no question in my mind.
We'll be right back. We're going to talk about this week's NFL Draft and Wolverines and Spartans coming up next.
Hi, I'm Denny with Styles Landscape. We have immediate openings for full and part-time landscape construction installers. Experience working in the landscaping field is beneficial, however, not required. We offer an excellent benefits package, including health care, retirement savings plan, and a boot and uniform allowance. To learn more about the positions that we are hiring for, please visit fox47news.com/workerswanted.
Hi, I'm Kelsey with Flexible Staffing. We have several jobs ready to be filled. The first is an immediate opening for a CNC machine operator, paying $12 an hour. We have multiple clerical positions open and are looking for detail-oriented people who want to earn $13 an hour. And we also have several openings at TAC Manufacturing, including assembly, shipping and receiving, injection mold, and more. To learn about the positions offered by Flexible Staffing, visit fox47news.com/workers wanted.
Don't miss The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. Cover corners are always in demand, especially in this age of football. And here you see Shakur Brown with the stick against Ohio State, and he had 5 interceptions for Michigan State last year, came out of nowhere to do that, and now has positioned himself for the NFL draft, decided to come out a year early, and we wish him all the best. There he is returning one for a touchdown. I think that one got called back. Darian, when you look at what Shakur's decision was that the right move for him? And how certain are you that either Shakur, Naquan Jones, or Antoine Simmons will hear a name called next weekend?
Well, I think, when you talk it over with him and his family, he felt it was the right decision. And we had to support him in that, which is exactly what we did. As soon as a player says that they're ready to move on to the next stage and get an opportunity to play in National Football League, it's our job to put them in a position to get drafted. And that's exactly what we did. Went to work in that regard, of course, led by Scott Ligo, our director of player personnel. So I think he's done everything that he possibly could to give him an opportunity to get drafted. I do think the streak will continue this year with one of those 3, if not all of those 3, hearing their name called in the draft. I mean, as we know, it sometimes doesn't necessarily make sense when you see players that turned out, had really good film and really good tape in college not get picked. But I am confident that the streak will continue this year.
Tom Crawford, let's take a look at the top 10 prospects from the state's 2 Big Ten schools. Michigan, once again, very well represented. What does it say that the Wolverines have 2 players who are expected to go in round 1 that should have 5 who could go by the end of Friday and possibly could have 7 players before any of the Spartans are drafted?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Michigan's been doing this. I mean, like last year, they had 10 players drafted. That's one of the highest they've ever had. They had a 2-4 team, for God's sake. So Michigan, the NFL sees talent within the Michigan program that Michigan has not developed to the point of galvanizing into a championship team. So I think that's what the MO is on Michigan. There's talent there. We saw it with DPJ last year with the Browns. We're going to see it with Kwity Paye. who might go as high as 18 to the Dolphins in this draft.
Darian, only 4 schools have had a player selected every year since the common draft began in '66. And hey, with Michigan and Michigan State, you go back a lot further than that, well over 70 years with players picked. What does it say that there are only 4 schools who can say that, and that 2 of the 4 are 63 miles apart?
It says it's very difficult to get drafted in the National Football League, and in the grand scheme of things, not a lot of players get selected every year, and sometimes there's good players that don't get selected. Only 4 schools on that list means that there's a lot of schools that you would think would maybe be on that list that aren't, in terms of their prestige and pedigree when it comes to college football. So just again, that's what I always want people to understand, is that it's only, it's about 60,000 college football players every year, and there's only 263 that get picked every year. It's a very, very small number. So just for Michigan State to be on that list, and for that streak to hopefully still continue that year, I think that's very prestigious.
Well, Michigan State, Florida, and USC you see there, and that means no Notre Dame, no Alabama, no Texas. A lot of schools would love to be on that list, but only 4 are. Tom, I want to take a look at the top 8 Big Ten prospects in this year's draft. And it's a pretty good list, very impressive list. But is it possible that the league could have 8 first-round picks, and that would be a full 25% of Thursday night?
Yeah, this is kind of like, Big Ten basketball. I mean, the Big Ten football gets a lot of hype for talent and, on the field stuff, but when it doesn't materialize into national championships. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other Ohio State players down the list on there. They lead the pack with talent. Yeah, very impressive, I would say, Big Ten coming up with that many players.
Darian, it's interesting to think that Ohio State would have fewer first-round picks than Northwestern, as well as Michigan and Penn State. That's surprising. The Buckeyes have had so many players taken in round 1.
Yeah, it is. But I think that's a testament to Coach Fitzgerald and what he's doing at Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois, and the development they have as a program. And it showed last year with their record, cracking into the top 10 and get another opportunity to compete for a Big Ten title.
We'll be right back, and we're going to take an overall look at the draft, the top 15 picks, and the top quarterbacks, running backs, and defense players up next on Press Pass.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Cool redefined. Say yes to healthy living only at fox47news.com. You'll find ideas for your family to stay healthy and happy, a resource to find a doctor in your area, and also how to volunteer at Sparrow to help others. Fox47news.com Say yes to healthy living is sponsored by Sparrow. For health, for care, for life.
Chaz, what are some smart ways to put away money from a tax refund?
So some things we might recommend are opening a new Roth or traditional IRA, contributing to an existing IRA, maybe paying off debt or paying an annual life insurance policy.
Fox47news.com has launched a new section, Healthy at Home. Our local experts will provide self-improvement tips, medical breakthroughs, and ways to stay healthy at home. Central Pharmacy with 13 locations. Your local pharmacists delivering right to your home.
Celebrate the 25th anniversary of Judge Judy.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, visit Brian and his terrific staff at theticketmachine.com. There you see the draft order for roughly the first half of the draft. Unusual to see the New England Patriots picking 15th. It is not unusual to see the Detroit Lions in the top 10. We've become accustomed to that, and the Lions are slotted at number 7 if they do not trade down, and a lot of people think they need that. The Lions are 3 players away from being 3 players away. Tom Crawford, we know that quarterbacks will go 1, 2, and 3 Thursday night, with San Francisco acquiring that 3rd pick from Miami. But what are the chances that QBs go 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first time ever, and that we see quarterbacks in 5 of the first 7 picks, probably with the Lions trading out?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, Jack and Darian. Yeah, I mean, when you think about every once a high caliber quarterback, even if you're a rookie, you got to get the guy. And there's some stellar quarterbacks coming in. So that would not surprise me. And if I'm the Lions, trade down. Definitely trade down, because you need ammunition at every position, both sides of the line. So I would just trade down and get 2 picks if I could, and you could still probably grab Devonte Smith later on. Who knows?
Darian, you've chased a lot of top quarterbacks, including Marcus Mariota, but I want you to rank the top 5 quarterbacks this year. Let's take a look at that list, and just about everyone has Trevor Lawrence as a franchise guy. They say he is the best quarterback to come into the league since Andrew Luck. And Zach Wilson has opened a lot of eyes. It looks like he's going to be a Jet. But what about the 49ers? They have their eyes on someone. Rumors are it might be Mac Jones, who seems to be a perfect fit for this Kyle Shanahan offense. But it's hard to look past Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Who do you think the 49ers will take, and who would you take with the number 3 pick?
Yeah, I mean, I know, the talk may be about best fit for Shanahan, but I just can't see passing on a talent like Justin Fields or maybe even Trey Lance. I mean, Mac Jones's numbers are spectacular, and I think that, he maybe even got underrated a little bit because of the talent around him. But again, just seeing Justin Fields up close and personal, watching him work out, his size, his ability to extend the play outside of the pocket, how can you pass up on a talent like that? And then Trey Lance, he checked in at about 6'2", I believe, somewhere around 230. So he's bigger than I thought he was. I know there's not a lot of body of work there, but those are 2, I think, supreme talents with the right coaching staff that can make your team very successful.
Darian, what about the level of football for Trey Lance versus what Mac Jones saw at Alabama against the SEC? Now, Trey Lance didn't have the receivers that Mac Jones had either, but what about the level of competition?
I think that can come into play sometimes. I mean, but we've seen a Carson Wentz come in and be primarily pretty successful. I mean, he was playing as the MVP before he got hurt, so can't knock his talent there. We've seen Jimmy Garoppolo coming from Eastern Illinois have some success as well, take a team to a Super Bowl even. It's not, over gratifying numbers, but not everybody's putting up Pat Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers type numbers.
Tom, let's take a look at 4 terrific receivers, and Kyle Pitts. He's not really a tight end. He's not strictly a wideout. He's whatever you want him to be, usually a touchdown maker. Jamar Chase had an incredible year in 2019 with Joe Burrow at LSU breaking all the records. And then you've got the Alabama guys. Devonte Smith, all he did was win the Heisman Trophy. And a lot of people think he's not as good as Jalen Waddle when he is healthy. So if you had a pick between Pitts and Chase, let's say with the number 5 choice, who do you take? And which of the Bama guys do you like?
Well, let's get the Bama guys in that bracket out of the way. I'm going to take Devonte Smith over Jalen Waddle. I mean, Jalen Waddle did get hurt last year, and I would think there'd be some level of uncertainty in that. He didn't really finish season. Kyle Pitts, I mean, here comes Gronk. This guy is a freak. That's what he is, 6'6", 246. This guy was amazing on highlights last year that I saw and in a few games. So I would take Kyle Pitts. He is a game changer, the franchise maker if used right.
Yeah, and if he does go to Atlanta and he's playing with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, you can imagine what that set of weapons would be for Matt Ryan. Darian, it is not a defensive draft. It's going to be offense, offense, offense. Don't know when the first defensive player is going to go, but let's take a look at the top 3 names on most boards and wondering who you think will go first and who would you pick, allowing for a little linebacker bias.
Yeah, I think the bias may kick in for me a little bit, but I do have at least some things from last season to point to kind of back that up. Now, in the pass happy league that we're in right now, you know, maybe naturally you take a Surtain as a shutdown corner or Kwity Paye off the edge. But if you look at the impact that Derek White had for Miami or for the Buccaneers last year, you take a guy like Parsons.
We'll be right back talking baseball and basketball up next.
Hello, I'm Andrew Womack, and I'd like to invite you to join me daily, every weekday, for the Gospel Truth broadcast right here on this station. The times are on your screen, but you know, this is just a program where I teach from God's Word things that have changed my life, and I know they would change yours. So check it out each weekday, the Gospel Truth broadcast right here on this station.
Looking for wedding, Mother's Day, or graduation gifts? The Zonta Club of East Lansing's online art auction is going on now. Stunning works of art, including paintings, sculpture, pottery, jewelry, and more can be yours, all while serving the Zonta East Lansing mission of advancing the quality of life for women and children in our community. The online auction runs through April 29th. Bring beautiful art into the homes of those you love while making a difference for women and children right here in mid-Michigan.
Watch Fox 47 News at 7 Tuesday to meet this week's winner.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff for the best in Mediterranean food. That's why I'm there every week. Gentlemen, my mother once told me, if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all. That means our decision this week is to talk about Matthew Boyd or to completely skip the Detroit Tigers. And when you look at what he has done, he is worthy of praise. Just 2 wins, but 22 strikeouts and a 1.82 ERA. And then there is the rest of the team. Tom, Matthew Boyd is 30 years old, and he's only making $500,000 a year. That's a lot for us, but not much for a major league player. Should the Tigers trade him as fast as they can and try to get a position player who can be around for 10 years?
No. I mean, you got a good guy here. This guy is amazing. I don't know if you saw the game last night. He was just terrific. And the starting pitching is supposed to be the strength for the Tigers, so let it be strength. So why are you going to keep looking down the road? This is what the Tigers do. They keep looking down the road, like Casey Mize, back in 2018, looking down. Where's he? He hasn't materialized yet. You got a bird in the hand. This guy is good. Pay him. And, try to build around a starting pitching staff, which supposedly is your strength, because hitting certainly isn't, bullpen certainly isn't, and base running certainly isn't, and field play decision-making certainly isn't. So, Hey, you got to stick with pitching.
Someone suggested that by the time the Tigers win, he may be in his mid-40s. So the idea would be that maybe they can strike while the iron is hot. Darian, when you look at where the Tigers are now, the worst record in baseball at 7-15, as in any sport, it is very difficult to win if you cannot score. And the Tigers managed to score more than 2 runs just once in 6 games and 5 losses this week. What's up with the hitting?
Just not putting bat on the ball at the end of the day. I mean, this team started off 1-0, and I saw everyone talking about World Series, and that very quickly went south. Again, you got to put the ball in field of play. Like Tom said, you got to have good base running. You got to be able to score runs. You got to be able to bring people around the bases and get points on the board. And they're not able to do that. And at the end of the day, no matter how good your pitching is, you still got to be able to give these pitchers a cushion. That's probably why we're only looking at an ace pitcher with 2 wins. That you're not getting support from the hitters. So it needs to be a team effort out there. And just again, with any sport, it'll happen. I mean, it may not happen in our lifetime, but eventually the Tigers will be good again.
Well, a lot of strikeouts and a lot of bad at-bats, guys getting behind in the counts and put themselves in a hole, and then they're on defense the rest of the at-bat. Tom, the Tigers cannot hide behind just being a low payroll team and say, well, what do you expect? We don't have as much money as some of these other teams. I look at Kansas City, and there is no better example of a low payroll team than the Royals. And what about the Oakland A's, the originators of Moneyball? And all they did before this afternoon was win 13 in a row.
Yeah, I was, if they had won today, I would make him my team of the week coming up here. But no, I mean, the Tigers, with Al Avila, I think it's time to move on. Don't you? I mean, how many times are you going to give this guy a chance? Player development is not taking place, Jack. And you got Miggy there who's hurt every other day. I guess he came back, $30 million a year, stuck with that contract. It's a train wreck, I think, for the Tigers moving forward. Absolutely.
All right, Darian, switching sports to your beloved NBA, let's take a look at the teams with the 5 worst records in pro basketball, and squarely in the middle there, the Detroit Pistons with those 3 first-round draft picks and your former teammate Jeremy Grant. At what point should teams suddenly try to not win games?
I mean, it depends, what you think of who's coming out. I mean, is Cade Cunningham, is Jalen Suggs, is a Jalen Green, is an Evan Mobley, are they worth tanking, so to speak? Because, let's just be honest, it happens. That's what the 76ers did, and it worked out for them. It worked out to their benefit. Now, they had 2 generational talents that they were able to pick, and Embiid and Simmons.
Right.
Do you see that with the draft upcoming? So if not, I think you just compete hard, and show that you're, at least looking to the future so you can try to attract free agents. Because at the end of the day, even if you draft a Suggs or a Cunningham, unless you can bring in a free agent in NBA, you can't compete for a title.
Darian, I know you do not have an MVP vote as much as you would like one, but if you did, who would be 1, 2, 3 on your ballot as a playoffs approach?
Right now, I'd probably go Jokic 1, Embiid 2, and probably Donovan Mitchell at 3. I mean, I just think that with the Utah Jazz, you can't help but see what Donovan Mitchell was doing this year. Embiid has been stellar. He would have won it if he played every game. But Jokic is playing the best in the NBA right now. Maybe even if they're not ranked, number one in the conference, I'd give it to Jokic.
Don't forget Steph Curry. We'll be right back with more.
Bad sleep. One night on the road and we already need a chiropractor.
You know, RV sleep doesn't have to be bad sleep. With Denver Mattresses RV lineup. Made in the USA with 3 levels of comfort, these mattresses are designed to fit your RV sleeping space. Choose in-store pickup or have it delivered, wherever you happen to be. And rest easy knowing it's backed by our 365-night better sleep guarantee. Get superior rest and comfort on the road, only at Denver Mattress.
For the line crew and the go-getters. For shoulders to lean on and backs that don't break. For everyday heroes keeping doors open, lights on, and gears turning, there's Grainger. Supplies and solutions for every industry, plus 24/7 support and over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Visit fox47news.com/rebound for help managing the pressure.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders. And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Value and Values segment, brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, a statewide organization with a proud history. The MHSAA supports broad-based opportunities for growth and teaches life lessons through the value and values of high school athletics. There you see a photo of the MHSAA Division IV girls basketball champions, the Fowler Eagles, who joined the Portland girls in Division II as state titleists this month. And I'm happy to be joined by a terrific sister tandem, Fowler's Mia and Emma Riley. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mia, we saluted another Division IV Player of the Year, Pierre Brooks of Detroit Douglas, last week. How important is it to you that as a junior, you were able to not only win that performance award and also maintain a 4.0 GPA?
It takes a lot of hard work and effort, definitely. But academics and athletics are super important to me. And I know that if I have both of them, then and one of them doesn't work out, I always have the other to fall back on. So that's a good feeling.
Emma, you're just a sophomore. In 2 years, will we be talking about the Riley sisters winning that Division IV Player of the Year award 3 straight times?
I really hope so, because it's been my goal ever since freshman year, and I've been working really hard.
Mia, the Eagles beat teams by some ridiculous margins, and we were not able to document a more impressive run in the post-district phase. The largest margin that we could ever find, 168 points, the combined margin of victory. How do you win post-district games by 40, 30, 40, 24, and 34 points?
Going into the tournament, we knew we had to come out strong and we couldn't let up. That was super important to us, and especially after last year, everything getting taken away because of COVID, we really took every game. We couldn't take any games for granted this year.
Emma, I know that Fowler is more than a two-person team, but it was Riley Sisters 34 and Bel Air 20 in the championship game. How does that happen?
Well, it starts with our really solid defense, and then we have to make sure to stay out of foul trouble, because that's a big part of it. And then we force turnovers to get fast break layups.
Emma, do you want to talk about an unsung teammate or somebody who maybe doesn't get all the credit, doesn't score all the points, but help make you a state champion?
I think Emma Hoffman does a really nice job. She's a great shooter from the three-point line, and she just really helps the team score.
Mia, Coach Nate George said that you make his job pretty easy. You want to talk about the coaching staff and what they did for Fowler this season?
We have a great coaching staff. We have a couple of Fowler alumni that come out and help, and they've known what it's like because they've been there before. They all are so super knowledgeable, super dedicated, always coming up with film, coming to practices. They open up the gym early in the morning so we can come in for a 7 a.m. shoot around before school. It's super important to have great coaches, and we have that, so we're super lucky.
The best part for everyone except your opponents is that you have just about everyone back to defend the state title next season, and Coach George is very happy about that. How much better can this team get the next time around?
We're very young and we're talented and soon to be experienced. I have high expectations for us next season, and I know a lot of other people do too, so I'm excited to see where it takes us.
And we know of your hopes to become a doctor at some point. And Emma will be watching you very closely too for 2 more years. Congratulations to both of you. And let's do this again in 11 months.
Thank you so much.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Can you guess the hidden talent? Game of Talents, all new Wednesday on Fox.
Hi, I'm Wolfgang Buck. When I started my online store, Wolfgang Buck Home, I knew there would be a lot of orders to fill, and I wanted them to ship out fast. That's why I chose ShipStation. ShipStation helps manage orders, reduce shipping costs, and print out shipping labels. It's my secret ingredient.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers.
And Wolfgang Buck.
Go to shipstation.com/deal and get 2 months free.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing, and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. Gentlemen, our in memoriam this week stretches from age 82 to age 19. Now let's start with former Michigan State and Kansas City Chiefs tight end Fred Arbanis, a terrific player for Duffy Daugherty, then became the best tight end in AFL history. Here you see him on a reception against the Packers in the first Super Bowl. And quite a figure in Kansas City. Now he's been surpassed in most people's minds by Travis Kelce, but Kelce learned a lot from Fred Arbanis. And Darian, you know a little bit about Terence Clark. What a tragedy that is.
Yeah, I mean, to be that young and, you know, months away from realizing your childhood dream of getting drafted into the NBA, just signed with Clutch Sports the day before. For BJ Boston as well, one of his teammates that was driving in the car behind him, to have witnessed that is just all around tragic. And thoughts and prayers are just with the Clark family and the Kentucky family, and also his high school family and coaching staff as well. Just all around tragic situation.
All right, Team 395, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Darian, what do you have for us for a play of the week?
Play of the week, I'm going to something that actually happened today, technically on the clock, if you're on Eastern Standard Time, at sometime around midnight, I believe. Actually, might have been a little bit before that, but last night, UFC 261, I think we're at. Usman's knockout of Masvidal was sensational. Right hand to the jaw. Masvidal was kind of baiting him, and he's never been knocked out before. And Usman called him the Nigerian Nightmare. I think he's the best pound for pound fighter in the world right now. And I'm looking forward to his next bout against Covington for many reasons, but we won't go into all of those. But I'm a huge Usman fan and got one. And then honorable mention also to Thug Rose as well for that knockout kick she had. It was just an all-around great night of fighting. Wasn't too much of a fan of filling the stadium with 15,000 with COVID still going around. But in terms of what happened inside the octagon, it was very entertaining.
Tom Crawford, I don't know how much money we're going to have to raise to get Darian into the octagon. It's going to take a little fundraising drive, I think.
A lot. He's got a family in Bruin right now.
That's right. What do you have for us for our team of the week?
Well, I'm tempted to go with the Knicks for the 9 wins in a row. Julius Randle was sensational last night, as was R.J. Barrett. They were smoking. They're 7 games over 500 right now. The Knicks are in the East. But I'm going to go with that BTN team. How about Lisa Byington, Jerry DiNardo, and that sideline guy, Darian Harris. I thought they did a terrific job yesterday at that spring game. To cover a spring game, I mean, Darian does it in his sleep. But, Lisa and Jerry, they had to research all this stuff. You got to carry an hour 45 with no actual game. That's heavy content prep. So I was impressed by all those.
Excellent job by all three. We could also mention Michigan with a Big Ten championship in field hockey.
There you go.
Ohio State, Tom.
Yes.
And Michigan State women's golf is doing very well again all spring long. And you're going to see them be a factor as the season continues. All right. For our player of the week, I guess we call him ex-player of the week now, but Joshua Langford announced Monday that his basketball career is over. Some people wondered if he would try to come back for year 6, if he would try to play professional basketball. And at age 24, he said, I've had enough. I have other things to do with my life. He is so mature. He's an exemplary citizen, Michigan State. Very, very fortunate to have had him. I want to thank both of our guests today, Darian Harris, you saw him yesterday on BTN, and Bluebelly Tom.